Hey YouTube, everyone! Welcome to TTP Podcast Season 2, Episode 8. We have right now our current guest, Blazenplays, right in this corner. So,
What's up, everyone?
hey, and in our Capture Studio audience. Hey, welcome. All right, so thank you guys for joining today's podcast. Purpose is also the other voice you hear in the background. He is there. But he's also there. There he is. He said, hey. All right, but Funky said he has a gig, so hopefully he'll be here soon. But we are recording, so this will be posted to YouTube and the YouTube. We're also on Spotify now. We're also on Google. So we're expanding the horizons of where we are posted podcasts in many areas. But we know Blaze's time is intricate because he only has an hour to spare, so we'll get right into it. All right, so our first topic of tonight for TCP, if I can remember what computer I'm on here. Hold on. Is introductions and everything. So Blaze, give us a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself and 401 review.
For sure, yeah. My name is Blaze. I usually stream horror genre games. I've recently started doing some study streams because I went back to college. So a lot of my streams are really chill, both on the gaming and study side of things. Really interested in music creation, so I got into music production recently as well. So still going through that with school and whatnot. This be my last year, and just kind of shifted everything to getting done with that degree. So a lot of cool projects underway right now. Yeah, that's a little bit about me. Yeah,
I'm avid follower of Blaze, so you would catch his study streams. It's just like literally watching the man study while music is playing in the background. So it's always an interesting, chill vibe. Because I never see that people. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to my wife, Sugar Cookies, in the chat. Everybody, you can see the little emote there. That's my wife. And here's my cat, O'Malley, and my dog Kelly is passed out somewhere. So yeah.
Nice. I put a cat hammock in the window behind me, so the cats are like enjoying the hammock per se. And when it's very sunny, they're like just like sleeping on the side. So I understand now the cat fascination, because like just having the cats like run around everything is very, very interesting.
For sure.
Yeah, but this is also
they're really chill creatures for sure.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So Blaze is on twitch.tv/Blazenplays. Let me see if I can remember how you're Blazenplays. Also to the wife, also a streamer, Sugar Cookies. Give a shout out there. Well, you guys have Kick accounts, but I'm just saying they're also on Twitch.
Yeah.
So
that works.
You're good. That works too. But yeah. All right. So another month has passed. I guess we'll start with Purpose. So I haven't talked to Purpose either. So what have you been up to, Purpose, in the last month?
Well, last month I've been much the same, right? Just working and playing some video games, a little bit of video games.
What is your current fixation?
Boy, it's tough right now. So I wanted to try Diablo 4 Season 1, but rolled a character and then immediately got distracted by Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3, yeah.
Played some Baldur's Gate 3 and then immediately got distracted by Genshin Impact's new 4.0 release. So it's just been a lot. And now Hearthstone Battlegrounds just released a bunch of new stuff. So it's just a lot to keep up with. So
Nice.
Just been kind of like touch and go on each of the games and just trying to stay a little active in each of them and do my thing, you know.
Well, there you go.
She was trying to get me on Genshin too. She wants me to play Genshin so bad.
If you
so good.
You have to wait till the Purpose segment where we talk about how Ty's never gone to Genshin, even though it got shown by 4 people or 3 people how to go for the game. But yeah, I hear you too, Blaze. But one point of contention for this podcast is always going to be some type of Genshin segment in here. But yeah. So for the last month, it's been in the new house. Yeah, I think it's almost been over a month now. So It's going good. Adulting's still in play. I have a couple of bills next month and a mortgage, so I have to kind of, yeah, it's gonna take a little bit to recover. Because when you pay so much for a house, it's like putting so much into it. It's just like literally, like anything that comes up, like the bat remediation I talked about. I think I know it happened last time. Probably not, because I think that happened. Actually, no,
Yeah,
that
you had
happened.
mentioned it.
I mentioned it. Yeah, yeah. So the credit card bill's gonna come for that. So dang, but it's like a month later, so I have to we're paying that off. But yeah, everything's pretty good so far. The two kids start school next week, so it's just gonna be me in the house most of the day. Winter's still doing her. She's doing like Uber Eats and Instacart, so she's usually on most of the time during the day, and then she does her serving job at night. So we are in and around and about, but it's a good time. And the cat hammock. Let me see if there's a cat up there, but you probably. Hold on, I'm gonna move this roll down here. So there's a cat hammock. If you see my screen, it's in my window. There's a cat in there right now, but
That's awesome.
they're kind of just chilling at the window. So I have a cat hammock, and I have a cat cam apparently now, because it's like I started opening my door open, and the cats were like, "Your bed is so comfy," so they're just like on my bed, and then like two of the cats are like a couple, so they're kind of like play fighting and all that stuff with them. So it was very nice
Just
to,
squeeze in there.
yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, so that's the intro. All right, so this is the podcast goes in topics and for places. So a couple of question topics. AMAs would ask me anything, and I made purpose brought up last time I did this. Is that literally is ask me anything from the panel. So like, I believe you're up first, but you think of a question to ask me on purpose, and we think of a question to ask either you or each other or the whole panel. So those are coming up, and then at the end of the podcast would be the what's making you giddy this week, which is like something that's making you happy. That is either like something you've been doing, an event or anything, or something you're into or watching currently. Could be anything, guilty pleasure, anything. That'll be at the end. So the first one, topic question, was it the best horror movie character? Because you said you're into horror genre and everything. As a simple character or a better or a complex character? What are the... But then also the caveat of this, the horror movie genre is very, how do you describe it, very hit or miss. So any like horror movies that are either did really well in your opinion, or maybe anything that's flopped and like never seen again. So it'll be an interesting question to figure out. I'll give you the first crack at it if you don't have one. I do.
Yeah. Okay. So the best horror movie character, honestly, Aliens. The best horror movie character have to be the Alien movies for sure, because just outer space. It's
space.
just the whole unknown, right? It's also my wife's worst worst fear is aliens and the whole outer space kind of like idea and whatnot. But for me, it's fascinating. I don't know. It's just really interesting
Gotcha.
to
Did she
kind
ever
of bring
finish
the
Alien
world.
Isolation?
Well, she's still going through that one.
Oh, she's gonna
So yeah, we were
Okay.
still playing. We were just talking about that. Yeah. So that's when she's going to be finishing.
Nice.
And so I think complex though. I think the best horror characters in general, whether movie or show, are the ones that really just make you think. The one that stands out to me is what's that one? What's the name of that show where it was a hacker guy and oh man, what was the name of that show? It was basically some kind of hacker and he was working for this what's supposed to be Dell.
Oh
in
yeah.
this it's kind of bringing some bells. It's been a while.
I
iRobot,
remember
I
that.
think.
iRobot, yeah. Was it iRobot? No, it was iRobot. It's something like that. What is it?
Something like that. Yeah. So it's kind of like these where you, what is it? Mr. Robot. That's what it was.
Mr.
We were
Robot.
close.
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah. I haven't seen that show in a while. So it's just those
Yeah.
kind of characters that really take you into the mind as well. It's a simple character that turns out really intricate, who at first seems really normal, but as you get to know them, there's so much to them, and they end up being, well, are they good or are they bad? So
That's true. Those are always
I
complex
kind of
ones.
those complex characters are in all these kind of movies. There's so many of them, right? And those are the memorable moments for me. Yeah, that works. Mr. Robot, exactly.
Yes, and then Deathworks also says Predator. It's not the scariest, but underrated as an antagonist, which is very true. I would
Yeah,
think.
similar vibes, exactly.
I feel like the complex ones, yes, but I think like if you go for tried and true, I would have to still say the well, it's also tried and true, but because like they have the mask and kind of identifies the Scream character, the one with the scary
Okay.
mask, because like it's not necessarily one person, like it could be multiple, and then you always have to go into the into let's see, like what's their like their reasoning why they became that the particular one. But the other one I really enjoyed, like in recent, was the aliens from a Science Place, because like they were just like scary enough, but then just like going through necessarily not the like intricately going through the story, but just like the purpose of like having that where the you couldn't make any noise. You couldn't make any noise, any movement, anything,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
then you'd be caught dead. But yeah, purpose any horror. I know horror movies not your genre, right? I must remember when I put this question together. Purpose, do you have any
Correct.
horror?
Not my genre. Not my genre, but I'll second Daft Predator. I actually
Predator.
like the Predator series a lot, and I think that if we're considering that to be a horror film, it's probably one of my favorites, and that character has always stuck with me as, you know, just the idea of it. Like you can earn the predator's respect by, you know, besting it in combat, and it's not about weaponry, it's not about, you know, all that, it's just about, you know, basic survival and where, you know, how you can how you are as a hunter or as prey and whatnot. So I think that is a very cool concept of a character.
Indeed. But do you know any? Because I feel like we talked about probably some good movies. Any movies that have flopped? That was a horror genre that you guys didn't remember, or maybe we never remember them because they flopped and they're not that good to actually remember.
There was one that sticks out immediately.
Okay.
There was a lot of wax characters, and they were in like a town with wax, and I think Paris Hilton played in it.
Oh yeah. What was it called now? The Wax something?
Let me see.
Maybe
It
look
was
this
like
up.
yeah, it was like the Wax movie or something like that. I don't know. That one had like House of Wax. That's what it's called.
House of Wax. House of Wax. That's right. Yes.
Like 5.4 out of 10 stars. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Yeah.
That whole movie just made me laugh. It was
Okay,
like they tried to be super serious, and it just did not work.
Mine goes to The Mist.
Ooh. I can see that
But
one.
I remember going, my Nuka and I, we went to go and see The Mist in theater, and, you know, being what it was, like we were like, oh, this is gonna be so good, and then we were just like so let down, and it was just like, man, that movie just
Those ones.
didn't
They stick with you.
do it for me.
They stick with you because they're so bad, you know. It's just
Yeah, they do.
I know they do.
There was a time whenever I actually, you know, I didn't mind them. I was kind of into horror movies, and this was during that time, and it was just like, but man, this one just flopped. Big flop.
Deputy's favorite is 28 Days Later. That's a good one.
I was gonna say that's a really good one.
Yeah. I think it's like the one question where you either want, do you want the Walking Dead zombies where they're just kind of like slow moving, or do you want the fast-paced 28 Days zombies where they run after you no matter what? I prefer the Walking Dead zombies, but man, 28 Days was a good movie overall.
I'm more of a 28 Days Later zombies. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of stopped watching Walking Dead just because of the whole like I think maybe I got to give it a chance for the story. Maybe that's really what I got to look for. I was
Yeah.
maybe going for more of that 28 Days Later kind of action, and then it just wasn't doing it for me, So maybe got to try it again.
Yeah, I think that they finally capped it, so they're going into like I think spin-offs. Probably like Maggie and Negan are going to New York apparently. But that's the only thing I've known so far. Like they've already, yeah, the series is final. But the one I saw, I didn't really see, but the concept Bird Box, I feel like that just like
Bird
there's
Box.
got memes so much. But I don't know if that was a really good more movie. But yeah, read the Walking Dead comic. Yeah, I read the Walking Dead comic. It's definitely better. But yeah, Bird Box with the Sandra Bullock playing it, and I think literally you could not what do you call it, like if you see you die, so you couldn't look at whatever you're looking at, so they're just like running around with like
Oh
blindfolds,
yeah.
and I'm just like, how is this like I guess considered to be blind, but I guess took that to like to definitely a level of but I don't know, like 6.6 on IMDb, 64% Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know, they didn't really do it for me, so I don't know.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. I remember seeing those trailers and saying, even just based off the trailers, it was like that. That seems all right. I'll wait till it. Just never heard of it again.
True.
So
But then, like,
seems like
we have to talk though about the never ending, because like some characters are very one note. Like the Jason movies have gone on so many sequels since
yeah.
the initial one. Is there something like simplistic about did you see Sunshine? I didn't see Sunshine, but there's one thing about the like characters like Jason, like Freddy's movie. I don't think gone that many, but like iconic characters that stand the test of time. Like and even Halloween's been remade so many times. Like Scream is on its way to like the seventh movie and going over to like the next one. Like
So
are there? Yeah, Saw too. Like there's like those particular genre movies. If you really like those movies, they're just gonna regurgitate another one out there and go. But it's one of those things. Like that kind of characters are probably pretty much staple in horror culture. So let's
it's either the actor or it's the character.
yeah.
It's always like I said, John Wick or uh like Halloween. I think
Yeah.
those are
Like John Wick and Halloween.
yeah, well like John Wick character and then Halloween character, like the killer. Like those two characters are two iconic characters that on one side you have it's the main actor
Right.
that's playing John Wick, right? So
Mhm.
is it him or is it really John Wick as a character that's making it good? Or is it because he's so or is it because as an actor he's so memorable? Or and
True.
then on the other side of that you have Halloween where it's just a mask, like you mentioned before. It's
Could
just
be anything.
the alien movies and all that. So um, it's really interesting to see the dynamics of which ones are really successful and really last, and how really scary can they keep on making them.
That
With
is
some
true.
movies, I think they're doing all right with the Saw just because there's a lot of gore and there's a lot of like different traps and things that people really don't think of, right? So that in that sense, that's how that character is iconic. So there's like little things each character has that make it make it or break it.
True. But yeah, definitely. Yes, mask can make it pretty easy to put any actor
That's so
behind it.
easy.
Yeah, that's for
Exactly.
sure. So yeah. It's so amazing to think that any
Like,
character had someone in the suit. That's true.
so I think like as far as like going back a little bit to what Blaze had said about, is it the character, is it the person? I think that like John Wick is actually one of those characters where both are so good that like it's not necessarily Keanu that makes John Wick, because John Wick's character is so good. It could have been anybody, but just the fact that it was the character and the actor, just like makes that character pop even more to just be
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh, like what am I watching right now?
Right.
And like
Yep.
you do get that with some horror films where, you know, you like, again with the with Mike, you know, the Mike Myers character, like
Yep.
it's like, oh man, like that character just like it's, you almost feel like the character's larger than life, right? Like
Mhm.
that they're just like the whole world revolves around them, but just like the personification of that character is just so good. And yeah, it's, you don't get it often, but when you get it, it's so good.
That's the only
Yes,
person who didn't
you
like
are
John
the
Wick.
only person. You are the only person, Jeff.
Okay. Yes.
I haven't even
No,
seen the movies, but I still think he's pretty cool too. I'm not gonna lie.
okay,
Yeah.
but to be fair, Nuka also just doesn't like the movies. Like
Mhm.
she's like, it's just not my thing.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Kind of
But
have to.
Saw's not my thing. I'm pretty sure that, you know, that's probably like the movie series that kind of just took me off of horror films, because boy,
I see
That
that
was
though.
underscore. Yeah.
that one scene with like the pit of needles or whatever it was,
Mhm.
uh
Yeah,
I can
I
never
remember
come
that.
back from that.
Mhm.
I can never come back from it.
It, like, yeah, you're right. Kind of some of that can push it to the brink where you're kind of like, well, is this all horror is? And it's easy to kind of get like sucked into that world where there's so many Saw movies they got to go through, and you're kind of thinking, well, this is all that horror's got to bring you, and that's not it. There's
That's
more,
true.
way more
I
horror movies.
I felt like, you know, at some point, you know, classic horror movies, I actually love them. They're so
Yeah,
good. But at some point, uh the cheap thrill of a jump scare just got a little overboard, and it was just like every
yeah,
movie that I saw, it was just like, when's the next jump scare, because it's coming. And like
yep.
at that point in time, like, you know, it was just like whenever it would happen, it just like stopped my heart, and I'm just like, can't keep doing this. It just like literally my heart hurts right now, like I'm holding my chest.
Well,
Yeah.
what's the
So
like to your case? What's the latest best scary movie that you've seen most recently come out?
oh man,
That's what I'm saying.
um
Everybody
again,
that asked
it's
this
been a
question,
while. It's
well,
been a
everybody
while
that,
because it was back in like, it was back around like 2008, 2000, no, it'd be 2009, 2010 was the last time that I actually watched horror movies. And I
sure,
think that like, obviously I'm speaking from someone who doesn't know anything about current movies, because I don't watch them anymore, because it had just gotten at that point in time, it had just gotten to the point where that's what it was all those cheap thrills, the cheap uh jump scares.
right,
And I felt like at that time, like it was just like, oh my gosh, they've just cheapened the genre so much, right? So
exactly.
uh
Well, you're not wrong. I mean, that's exactly when a lot of like the Saw and these consecutive movies were really coming out and started like Saw 2, 3, at that point, and really just saturated this market, this
mhm.
genre too much.
Yeah.
I feel so like that's why. Because you're not wrong. Like I feel like that's kind of when horror kind of peaked, is in like the really early like 2000s, and I really haven't heard or seen a really good like horror movie recently. It's just like, yeah, what that fork says, recycled stories. It's really,
Yeah.
they're so predictable now. They're super predictable.
Do you guys ever see or hear of The Lighthouse? I don't know if I classify it as genre as horror, but man, my friend was like really into that. It had what was it? Robert Patterson and what is that guy's name? Who played the Green Goblin? Shoot, in Spider
Oh,
Man.
that was
What is his name?
shit.
Besides everybody
Yeah,
talking now, I'd like.
it's right on the tip of my tongue.
Because I'm gonna as like say Norman Osborn, but that's not his character. That's actor.
No.
What is his name? What's that guy's name?
Defoe. William
Yeah, Willem
Defoe.
Dafoe. Yes. Willem Dafoe.
Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
oh,
So, but that was like Lighthouse was a really good like made you think kind of movie. Like some movies, like if they make you think, it's like more better than just like jump scare and like jump scare and like Saw is like just played out gore. But yeah, Evil Dead reboot. Oh yeah, the Evil Dead reboot. Yes, I've seen it. But yeah, like some
It's
of them.
like
Yeah,
it's like what point is it mystery though? You know, is it
yeah,
like
that's true.
horror? Or is it mystery? Because like that reminds me of that. What's that? That lighthouse movie with like the photos and it ended up being like, or I think not the one that you were mentioning, but there's another one similar to that where it was like a lighthouse and then involved a lot of photos.
Oh,
There was another
Memento.
popular actor. I think it's
Memento.
Memento.
Yeah, Memento. That's
Yes,
the one.
exactly. So
Yeah.
that's another really good one.
Yes.
Very like mysterious. So
And Black Mirror
let's
is
have
good
some like
too.
horror.
That is true. Black Mirror is a good genre. All right, we have to kind of move the pace on because I only have you for 30 minutes, and we always seem like it's a good podcast talk, but we can talk and talk and talk. So we'll kind of start moving probably along. I'm like to teach you to
Sure.
like keep the topic moving. All right, so AMA question. Do you have a question? Any TOS appropriate that you like to ask either me
Yes.
or Purpose?
Sure. For both of you, what is and you can start, Ty. What is your most iconic gaming moment? It could be any game when you think of gaming and your most epic, like, you know,
It's very
what is that moment?
moment. It's very moment that I was actually streaming. As there's a clip, and Purpose is actually involved in this clip because I was playing Halo, and like I literally thought, did I just beat the game? And then Purpose played the song, like something about I forget exactly how it goes, but like like I just beat the game, and turns out I didn't beat the game. I still had like another stage to go, and I was like, dang it, Purpose. But I just remember that as a
Yeah,
very iconic moment for me.
and that moment too was like, so the clip that I played was um it's from another streamer, and she was doing a blind playthrough of Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation, and she accidentally discovered like a huge speedrun trick that like no one knew. So she discovered like a trick that took like 15 minutes out of the speedrun of the game while she was in a blind playthrough, just by accident. Just like, it just so happened that everything happened in a very specific way, and she got clipped through a wall, and like no one had ever seen it done. It was through like a door that you had to like go and like unfreeze the door and do all this stuff. And whenever she did, it just so happened that a speedrunner of the game was there watching, and they're like, wait, what just happened? And they're like, that's not supposed to happen. Like, you just broke the game, and this is gonna change the speedrunning world.
Oh,
And
wow.
so whenever it all went down, she sang a song, and she's like, I am living the best like ever because I beat the video game.
Mm-hmm.
And like, she's just like singing a song about it. So I played this clip of her singing that song, and then the game wasn't over.
The game wasn't over. It's a funny clip indeed. All right, Purpose. Do you have a moment?
That's pretty epic.
Man, I don't want to use the same one I always use. I feel like I've answered this question before. The last time I used, and it might not have been the exact same question, but very similar question, and that would have been, or I think the last time it was the most emotional, like, and I went with the obvious Eris dying and Final Fantasy VII.
Yep.
So as far as epic moments for me, I spent a week straight playing Path of Exile, farming the same map. It was the Iceberg map, I believe it was the name of it. And it was, at that time, was just the best way to like farm currency. And I farmed enough currency to afford a headhunter, which is like one of the more valuable items, and it's a super rare drop. And so I purchased the headhunter after that week of grinding, and then the aftermath of me getting this like uber god item, and then like to the point where it was so epic that like I just quit playing the character after
Yeah.
like I played a
Yeah.
couple days because it was just like, this is so epic and so cool. But then it was just like, but this just like makes this whole game like not a game. I am just walking through and everything dies in the in a path of, you know, destruction. Like I don't actually have to play this game. So it kind of killed the fun a little bit. But the moment of me actually obtaining this item that I'd always kind of dreamed of getting, and I've never gotten in any league previous, and I've been playing the game for, you know, 10 or so years, whatever it is, whenever. So like I've been playing for a long time, going back at all the seasons, and had never actually gotten this item to drop, and to be able to farm up and purchase the item and then use it was epic for me, even though it did kill the game immediately.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go. Yeah, I think that's pretty epic.
Blaze, you have an epic moment you want to share?
So I think this was on original Xbox, original Halo. I was super young, like a teen or something. I don't know, I can't remember. And I remember getting a 51 kill streak with a sniper rifle. That was.
Oh wow.
I wish, you know, somehow recorded out. Yeah, that's gonna stick with me forever, man. Because I remember just being like, did that just happen? Looking at that end screen and seeing that.
As soon as you said it, you're like on original Halo, and I just go, oh yeah, there was that one time that it was 1v12 in the original Halo, where I was just like we had 4 boxes set up, and we're all land together, and it was me versus, like, it was literally I was one team and everyone else was on the other team, and I died twice before beating them, and it was just like, oh, that was pretty epic too, I guess. But
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That is a couple.
I'd totally forgotten about that until you said.
A lot of cool moments.
Street Rage 2, when I was 9 years old, getting the second to last boss for the first time, the music kicking was amazing. Wow. Yeah, music cues in games are always pretty epic too. So like when those music just kicks in at the right moment, and you're just in that moment. Yeah.
Again, Halo is masterful.
Oh yeah.
Like, whenever you get in that tank and you're just like, you start rolling the tank and you just think, you know, immediately you get in and you're like, oh man, it just feels like there should be like some type of hero music here, and then all of a sudden it just picks up, and you're like, oh shit, they did it. That's awesome. This is the best.
That is the best. That's very true. All right. As the teacher says, moving on to the next, because we had to be compressed today. But yeah, topic 2, as going on music cues, voice characters. So recently it was announced that the Charles Martinet, which is the voice of Mario, is stepping down from recording. So what does that even mean? Like, is there not going to have any Mario characters, or maybe get someone that sounds very similar to him? But that brings the point of like iconic voice actors. Like, some of them have passed, some of them are still living, but then like do you think any can ever be replaced, like replace Mario? Mario's such an epic voice. Like the plumber character, everyone tries to replicate how he sounds too. Like, can he be replaced? But the one actor I do remember from very, I think it's from the, I forget what is his name? Shoot. Every time I think of someone, I can't remember the tip of his tongue. The character he played was Omicron in the original Transformers movie. But I was like, oh yeah, they probably have voices pre-recorded. That's true. It was what was this? Shoot. I gotta look this up. This is what happens when you do the research and you think about stuff and you're like, don't you remember? What was that guy's name? Omicron. Transformers. Oh, it was Unicron now. It was Unicron. AI's gonna take over that, that's true. What was it? I need the actual original 1986 version. Yeah, it was Orson Welles. So Orson Welles did a very epic voice of Unicron. It was just like the deepness of it, the gravitas, but yeah, AI is probably gonna take over a lot of this. AI probably is a pretty true. But any iconic voice actors they stick in your minds that are still living that you can't imagine anyone replacing them?
Sure.
Uh,
Yeah, go ahead. Go
Does
first.
does does Veronica Taylor count?
Is Ryan
Like,
Taylor Harley Quinn?
Uh,
No.
no. Ash Ketchum.
Oh, Ash
Did
Ketchum.
they?
Oh
Did they? Did
yeah.
they?
Oh
Did they
yeah.
ever? Did they ever replace Veronica? I think that
Let me
she's
see.
always voiced Ash. No, I guess they did at season 9. They did season 9. They started with Sarah and Natocini. I haven't watched that deep into the series, I guess.
Okay. There's So that kind of makes a point. I guess if the character sounds, well, Ash is not going to be a pretty girl. Okay. But yeah, like Ash, like yeah, some characters like that's an iconic voice too. So, but even like who plays
There's
Harley? Oh, wait, go ahead.
yeah, there's one from Dying Light. The original Dying Light, I guess, because Kyle Crane is the main character of that, and the Dying Light 2, they had a different character, a different voice actor for that main character, which is not Kyle Crane. His name's Aiden. But a lot of people that in my chat are talking that they made him sound very similar, so they should have got like somebody completely different. So it's also kind of bring about an interesting point of view, where if the characters of the two main characters sound very similar, but they're not, does that also cause like some kind of problems for some people? And some people didn't like that, so I thought that was kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, and Sugar brings up a good point. I mean, we have all these recordings of all these actors, and AI just feed it to AI,
True.
and you have that voice forever. Now with this technology.
That's true. It's getting to that point. But even one time they did when Carrie Fisher died, R.I.P. But they did necessarily. I don't know. Most of our stuff was still pre-recorded, but I guess for context is like, I guess it does lose some of the umph because like it's only like a part of the line, but then like I don't know if they did any voice dub or anything, but I'm just like, man, you lose a character like that. It's just like, how do you replace them? And like everything goes into maybe the question is coming up later, but the fact that like you can recast them, but do you recast them into something totally different? Like even going into the fact that people like Wakanda, what was it Chadwick Boseman? Because even he died, but then they had to recast who's going to be Black Panther in this case. So like, do you recast the character entirely? Do you go a different route? How do you fix that? Because like some people can they go into actors playing iconic roles. It's very hard to replace them. But even for voice actors, I guess there's that nuance that you can get someone that sounds almost like them, but not exactly can fool like some people that have not listened to both voices. But it is an interesting thing because like even like James Earl Jones who plays the Darth Vader voice, like I can't imagine any other voice coming out of Darth Vader besides that. But I don't know. This is very interesting. An interesting kind of spin on voice. Any guys, any other iconic voice actors that you think can never be replaced?
So the one that I was thinking of was Roger Craig Smith. That's his name for me. So no matter what, no matter with Down like 3, these there's probably some other games that we can think of that have really specific voices. So for me, if Down Light 3 comes out and Kyle Crane is coming back, um, you know, in that game because he wasn't in 2, well then I'd be kind of like weirded out if it wasn't Roger's voice, if it was somebody that sounded like Roger.
Right. Very true.
I was muted. Mine is and I'll even change my original answer. Goku and Vegeta. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Good one. Really good one.
That is
Goku and Vegeta are just so iconic. Like it's really tough to replace those those guys.
That is true. I'm talking deputy the voice actor. He's like Marcus Phoenix, like as Gears of War, and Joe DiMaggio, who played. Oh, he's got various voice actor roles, including Bender, Jake the Dog, Adventure Time. So yeah, he definitely can't be. Definitely, there's a lot of voice actors that, yeah, you can definitely not replace them. People can tell how I feel like in my head. But yeah, that was another
Most of the time,
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Mark Hamill too. Oh yeah, Mark Hamill's got a very distinct voice. Yeah, I can never think. Oh, who else could play Joker? Over Mark Hamill's voice.
See, but with Joker, there's been so many.
There's been
So
so
it really
many.
depends on if you're talking with a specific series or a specific like universe or a specific comic. You know, it's really or like yeah, it's just really difficult to pinpoint for Joker. There's some characters where there's been too many voice actors that at that point you almost get used to having the different variations.
Yeah, that's true too. Very true. But yeah, voice actors, never take them for granted. They're gonna be here and they not be here. And then what happens to your favorite character? You never know. But alright, moving on
Yeah.
to another AMA. Purpose never does the homework, but Purpose, you have a question, possibly.
I didn't do the homework this time, unsurprisingly, as when do I ever?
That's true.
Okay, we can stay on a very similar topic. We're talking about, you know, iconic voice characters and you know who cannot be replaced. Does that also just mean favorite? Like, who is your favorite voice actor? Like, what is your favorite voice, like, from a character?
Batman, cartoon series. What's
I
this
was gonna
guy's
say
name?
Batman too. I was gonna
Yeah,
say
it has
the
to be
like
Batman, the original.
the one where he's like what where he's yelling in that voice like the live action one where he's like, give me the Joker, where is he?
Oh
And it's
yeah.
like raining and stuff like that.
Wait, is that Christopher
I don't know.
Nolan?
Is it
That's
Yeah.
is it
so that's such a good one too. Like, Batman the Animated Series,
Yeah.
Batman voice was so good.
Yeah, Kevin.
Uh,
Yeah, Kevin Conroy, right? And then he has
mhm.
passed last year. Oh yes. I
That,
don't.
like, he is such a good example of
Mhm.
a great voice actor.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Batman.
He has. It's
I
so
remember, I
iconic.
remember with the tie. Yeah.
It's so iconic. You cannot replace Kevin Conroy, even if you could try. But I don't think anyone would actually. But
Dang,
that's a good one.
such a good one.
Yeah. All right. Guess this covers that. Yeah. But it makes sense. Yeah, like that's the one I could never go enough someone else playing the anime series Batman. All right.
First
As
first one
oh,
I think of,
oh
yeah,
good.
Batman.
The first thing to Batman. Yeah, definitely. But all right. Now we're in the purpose segment. So purpose of the segment usually what is taking purpose's time up. What is his current guilty pleasure? What is his game update? Because I put it as a game update because I don't know what game you're playing. So we'll give us a simple gist of what's going on.
So, all right. Hearthstone Battlegrounds, new patch released on Tuesday. Played 6 games since it released. As I don't really get a ton of time to play games, so I got share time. In the 6 games, I've gotten 4 first and 2 top 4s. So that's pretty solid, right? And
Yeah.
a lot of people don't like the games of going to tier 7 being enabled or whatever. I love it. It's great. I love leveling pretty aggressively, trying to take whatever hero is an economy hero in those games, getting to 7, and then just trying to jack up my rank or my tier until I can grab some more bronze beards and whatever the name of that guy is, the pirate that makes your guys golden. And then next thing you know, you're just doing crazy bullshit and you don't know what, it's hard to tell what's going on. outside of Battlegrounds, we go to, as I said, Diablo 4 didn't really get very far into that season. Baldur's Gate 3, I've spent quite a few hours, most of those hours making the character and then playing. The gameplay is so solid. It takes me right back to those original classic RPG top down look and feel.
Yeah.
I think that they're like the whole system is just brilliant. I hope that this is a sign to developers that that's still a game that we like. I know that there's a lot of drama surrounding it right now with developers feeling like people are calling out developers for being lazy or whatever. I'm not saying any of that. All I'm saying is, you know, the whole thing with the new standard or whatever, I don't care about standards. All I care about is, look, they released a game that was a no bullshit game, no microtransactions, none of all the extra bullshit. It's just a game that launched and it wasn't broken. And it was done by, you know, a large studio, but it was a studio that was, you know, much smaller than a lot. So whatever. Take some cues from this. This is what we want to see. We want to see less broken games and more complete games where we're not worried about the monetization model so much as we're worried about the game not sucking. There's been too many cases, and that even goes to Diablo 4, which I do like as a game, but like the game launched and it wasn't in a good state, and I'll be the first to admit that it wasn't in a good state. So, you know, release your games in a good state that where it's fun and the money will follow. And then Genshin Impact. This is where I've really been diving in. There's three regions in the new well, there's one region, but there's three sections of the new region. We're 100% done, and there's nothing left in that. I've explored 100% of one of the sections, and the other two sections I'm at 85 and 92%. So if that tells you anything, it's not actually lack of content. Is me just going hard in this area. It's been out for like a week and a half, and I've just been going at it super hard. So fun. Love the underwater exploration. This might be the first game that I've played where, like, my criticism of this going in was, boy, I really hope they do good with the water, because every single game that has a water level I hate. I hate the underwater levels. Going all the way back to Mario is just the worst mechanics. And to see how they see how they did this mechanic and the amount that they made it feel fun, and how they made it pop in its own thing within a game, like you feel like you're playing the same game. It didn't just like completely take you out of the game. You almost feel like whenever you're swimming, you almost just feel like you're flying around the upper world, but you're not. And all of that type of stuff. So it's just super cool feeling, so much depth to it. And like Ty, if you remember whenever we talked about Sumeru releasing, you know, we kept saying it's such a large area, it's so huge, there's so much to explore. This area is like a quarter of the size, I would say, to Sumeru.
Quarter of the size? What? Oh wow. Okay.
But the depth of the map, it feels like it's almost twice the content.
Yeah.
Like it's just so much more to the map that you go down, and you like the fact that there's more layers, and they release this this new mechanic on the map where like you see different layers of the map, which feels like this should have been in the game forever, because this isn't the first time we've went underground or underwater or anything like that. It's just the first time we've done it where it like felt like it was part of the game, and it felt like it should be there. And like now it's just like so easy to navigate maps. There's so much more depth to the map, and like if you're like 4 layers down, then there's 4 layers to the map, and you can just look down the 4 layers and see where you're going, and it just feels so good. There's so many subtle little things about the area that just make it pop and make it like every region has its own inspiration, like, and I think we've talked about it a little bit, where like Mondstadt, which is your starting region, is like supposed to be like based off like England or something, like some country in the Europe area. And then like you go down south and you go to Liyue, and Liyue is more like Chinese type area. And then you go to Inazuma, which is like the Japanese type area. And then Sumeru, and Sumeru was like I don't even, Germany. There you go, Mondstadt's Germany. So like, so you just go through all these, and the French from Fontaine is just like so good. They made it like, I walked in to Fontaine for the first time, and the first thing I see is a dog, and it's dressed up like a guard, and its name is Baguette, and I'm just like, this is perfect. I love it. I love it.
Nice.
I'll play this all day.
Nice.
So I love it. I think that they're doing so good. I can't wait to see where they go with it from here. I'm sad that I'm almost out of content. And by no means am I judging the amount of content that they released, because they released a ton. It's just, I've been just going at it so hard this last week, and I like, Nuka will come home from work and she'll just be like, are you ready for bed? And I'm like, shit, I haven't done my dailies yet. I was too busy actually playing the game and not just doing daily shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's super fun.
So this is the month for purpose. You have all the games and everything.
Look, and it's not even over. Like Armored Core 6, I want to touch that one. Like,
oh yeah,
from Software, after all their advancements, I played some Armored Core 1 and 2 on the PlayStation, and I haven't played any of them since. And like, whenever I saw Armored Core 6, I'm like, oh my god, that game looks so good, and they've learned and grown so much as a studio, and like, I can't wait to play that. Like, my list of games and their releases is just like so long, and I don't know what to do about it, because I'm like, I'm already getting a back catalog, and it's all in the month of October. Like,
this year's pretty crazy.
It is just the end of this year. Like, this year in general has been nuts, but the end of this year is just like stacked. Armored Core 6. I can't wait for Sea of Stars, Starfield, Payday 3. I can't wait to see what they do with Cyberpunk now that they've fixed a lot of issues and stuff. Like, I went back and played Cyberpunk again, and like, it's such a different game. And when they release this expansion pack, it's just supposed to like completely change like all of it and give it so much more depth and stuff. So that one's huge. Detective Pikachu Returns coming. Super Mario Brothers Wonder. That's the first time that I've seen a 2D Mario game that's not just been like, oh, it's another 2D Mario game. Like, they're really trying to make changes there. Can't wait for Metal Gear Solid Master Collection. I'm hoping that they have more like more control configurations and stuff, because the fact that you couldn't change controller inputs and stuff in the earlier games really screwed me over, because I loved Metal Gear Solid 1 and then didn't really get to play much since then. But Super Mario RPG Remake, one of my favorite freaking Super Mario,
I forgot
or
Super Mario,
one of
yeah.
my favorite RPG games from the Super Nintendo, which was like the era. Super Nintendo, PlayStation was like the era for RPGs, JRPGs. See that game getting a remaster. I can't wait to try it out and see what they do with it. It's just gonna be a freaking great rest of the year, and I'm not gonna have any idea what to do in my spare time.
There you go. And with that note, Blaze, how are you for time?
We can close out.
Okay. Well, one thing I want to ask, just a quick Amy, and it's going to be a quite quick answer. What is the origin of Blazenplays? The screen name. I'm assuming
The origin of my name, like how Blazenplays, like the username or the idea,
the
or
username. The username.
yeah. So Blazenplays, just smoked cannabis and started playing some games, and all was very simple story.
Pretty easy.
Pretty easy, I imagine. Just come on to you.
Yeah, it actually didn't come until like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I want to say. I think so we moved to Colorado in like 2017, but I started getting into cannabis as like a caregiver back in Michigan before we moved here to Colorado, and that was a really exploratory era of my life where we went to the library, we read a bunch of books. I actually read through the whole book that Suga had used for one of her cannabis classes. So that was really interesting to see that kind of like full circle, just like going like really threw me back in those days, being in the library and reading up on this plant and all of its properties, and just becoming an activist, or not an activist, like a advocate for cannabis. I would say rather, and just because there's so many beneficial properties of the plant and what it's done and what I've seen it do for not just humans but for animals in my life. I just really am a huge advocate and believer in its healing properties, and so I just am kind of embracing the whole stigma, whether they want to see me in whatever view people want to see me, while I'm still doing what I do, going to school, streaming, doing music, to show that it's not just stoner, right? So that's really what it is about, is just to kind of be myself. I'm happy to talk about cannabis. I'm not gonna like put it onto other people or force it on others. If they have questions, they see my name, it's almost kind of clear. And then once you get to see me, and I do my dabs on my streams and whatnot.
They're not cheap channel play dabs, like 5,000 per.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just kind of be more like, hey, this is an okay thing for responsible adults to do, and if it is something that maybe would be beneficial for you in whatever kind of medical way, I may not be the subject matter expert, not a doctor, although I highly recommend to go and research and for yourself to see what the plant can do for you. So yeah, it's just done a lot for me and for my life and personally, and for those around me and my loved ones. And so I just want to share that with everybody.
Nice.
So yeah.
All right, and then the closing question. I'm not wrong. Ask for not a big explanation or anything. Just like simple statement. What is making you giddy this week? So I will shoot off. Escape from Tarkov. It's a short wipe. I'm into it right now. It's just like the game is just it feels so great as a new, and I am currently trying to grind myself through levels and wait for Blaze to come join me one day. But yeah, definitely just Escape from Tarkov. But purpose. Anything making you happy or giddy this week?
I wanted to point out that Funky is in the waiting room.
Funky's in the waiting room. Dang.
Funky's in the waiting room. But things making me happy. My oldest child, she's really happy. She started high school this week, and
that's exciting.
That's exciting. And Yeah, I mean, there's just so much cool stuff going on in my life. Like I've talked about it a little bit. I think I had talked about it a little bit last time, maybe. Um, the change of position at work. I've been doing more with the controls of the machines and stuff at work instead of just being a mechanic and turning wrenches. I'm doing more of the control side of things, so PLCs and making the machines, do what they do, which is pretty cool, and getting to change those programs and make the programs and work more with them and change make changes to the control panels that people are using that they have complaints about. Oh, well, this doesn't do what it's supposed to, or this doesn't say what it's supposed to. I don't understand this. Maybe we could be a little more detailed about what it is that we're doing, and getting to work more with that. Super cool, super fun. I love it, and I can't wait to do even more of it.
Nice.
So
Lucky is here, but I'm not on game yet. I just want to play
Yeah, nice.
do your one. What is your one thing, real quick, and then we can close out for you.
Sure. Okay. What is making me giddy this week? I'm excited for Starfield, not gonna lie. I know it's not like coming up, but that was actually gifted from a good friend and ex coworker that I met here in Colorado, who I haven't seen in a while, and it'd be like until like we only seen like once, since like the COVID and whatnot, the shutdown, and just kind of it was really cool to kind of just randomly get that gift and have plans to like play that together and whatnot. So yeah, it's just cool to reconnect with old friend and being able to like look forward to a new game too. So
heck yeah.
Yeah, that's good. All right. All right. On Funky. Funky, you can talk. If you sound
What's
good.
going on?
Okay.
Hey, Funky,
Hey.
What's going on, Blaze? Purpose Ty.
it's been forever,
Wait.
dude.
Yeah, it's been forever. Yeah, but we have to rotate
It's
you
been a
guys
while.
in and out. We can stay on purpose. You can stay on for a little while longer. We got like one more question. We can probably go for.
Oh yeah, I got all the time in the world.
Okay, but please, since you have to head off, just give us like where do people find you?
Sure. Yes, I am found on Twitch and TikTok, twitch.tv/Blazenplays. TikTok is going to be Blazenplays Live. So that's tiktok.com/@Blazenplays Live. But yeah, that's where I can be found at.
All right, thank you, Blaze, for coming on. We'll stay with Funky a little longer, but appreciate you devoting an hour of your time. Funky just
Yeah,
missed Blaze
Blaze.
entirely. Yeah.
Oh man.
Blaze
Sad, sad times.
got weekend plans. He's got to be doing things. So.
Oh yeah.
We gotta set up a game night. When do you do Tarkov
Oh,
again?
nice.
Tentacle?
I do Tuesday nights and Sunday mornings. So depending on
Tuesday nights and Sunday mornings. Okay.
So whenever you're
Right.
around, just hit me up.
Sunday mornings probably would be better for me.
All right.
Funky
sounds
man,
good.
we gotta play too.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah.
And Funky's got to
Purpose, it was nice
Alright.
meeting you, man. I think we
Hey,
talked
great to
before,
meet
but
you. Yeah, we've talked
Yeah.
before and streams for sure.
yeah, okay. Like Tarkov, right?
Tarkov, yeah. I mean, Nuka's my wife. I hung out a lot in Thai streams and some in winter streams too. So I mean, I've seen you around a lot and talk with you in different streams. So
Sweet. I'll be
Alright.
hanging around more. Thanks, Tentacle, so much for having me on.
No problem.
Appreciate
Thanks,
you all.
Blaze. See ya. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, let me just get out of that window. All right, Funky. So you kind of a little late to the party. How was your gig?
Oh, it was good. Yeah, it was played at a high school.
Oh,
So
high
one
school.
one of our
Cool.
bandmates is a teacher, and so they had the little pep
Oh.
rally, and so yeah.
Heck yeah.
Nice. Heck yeah, nice. Purpose is probably waiting for you because we're like, Funky, because I guess Purpose has also not talked to you in a bit too, right?
Yeah,
No,
I think
I hopped in his first stream back. I think.
Yeah, I think I saw.
But then, like, right, like the next day, I believe he started streaming right around the same time. That next day, my hours changed to be later. So like I got off later. So I'm like, I'm missing his stream. so I haven't gotten to catch any more. But
Yeah.
He's been Funky. You've been all over the place. You've been streaming like all times a day.
Sporadically, yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, what's the
Pretty
push,
much.
Funky? Give us the update. What's been going on with Funky since we last spoke?
What's going on with Funky?
Hmm.
Well, started a new job. Gained like 10 pounds. Good weight.
Oh, good weight. There you go. There you go.
Good weight.
Yeah.
School starting this week. So excited about that. So my bad. I think I got the time zone confused, and I thought I was only gonna be like a few minutes late. But
Yes.
yeah, that's a issue for me. Time zones is
Time zones
I don't know.
is-
I can never really get that right.
Yeah, he says 9. We say 8. It's
Yeah,
totally
for you
different.
guys, it's 9. It's totally different. I know. I said 9. I said 9 Eastern. Every time I speak to Funky, I gotta make sure.
Hold on. So you said 9 Eastern, so that's 8 for Central,
8
right?
Central,
Right.
yeah.
But you've been streaming for 2 hours.
Well, I started on I was just like on, bullshitting. I was just kind of like, but I was like
Gotcha.
watching
he
videos.
always
and-
does like a pre-show. Like he's
Yeah.
like,
I
he's like
see.
doing other stuff before, and then
and then go into whatever content I'm
we
running.
we come in at 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
I got you. So what was the what did I miss?
Oh,
Quickest recap you could possibly do. Let me hear it.
Okay.
Horror movies.
Horror
Yeah, there you
movies. Best horror movie characters we're talking about, the complex ones. TV series like Mr. Robot was a very complex character, but then Jason's iconic characters, it stand the test of time. Please ask. What did he ask? Oh, epic video game. Oh, there, right.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
So who are the best horror movie characters?
I weighed in with as far as like we're talking about the antagonists, and I weighed in with Predator. Blaze said the aliens from Aliens, and Ty, you said what? Ghostface?
Oh yeah, Ghostface and Scream.
Oh yeah.
Well, Ghostface and
Gotcha.
Scream, like they're all technically mask type,
Right.
like you can never tell who's behind it, and the nuance behind this, their backstory. It's always interesting. Tonka, do you watch horror movies?
I do not. I'm not a horror movie person. I'm kind of a weenie. I'll say that my best horror movie character was the Paranormal Activity Invisible. The demon that you didn't ever see.
Gotcha. But then
Footsteps.
also the movies that kind of flopped were like House of Wax was like pretty bad for a horror movie.
I thought The Mist.
The Mist, that was one. And then Bird Box.
Yeah.
So The Mist, and then Bird Box with the Sandra Bullock, and you couldn't see what will kill you. So yeah.
We talked a little bit why I'm not a fan of the genre, which dates back to the like 2000, late 2000, early 2010s.
Oh yeah.
And that's just the egregious use of cheap jump scares. Like that, it just didn't do it for me. And then the like Saw as a whole, like that whole thing was just like
Oof.
made my stomach turn.
I could never watch that.
Yeah. So
It was hard for me just to get into horror gaming.
Oh
Because
yeah.
like so and I talked to them about it a little bit. It was like, don't get me wrong, like Friday the 13th, Child's Play, some of these iconic like earlier horror movies I actually loved. But then like in those eras where they were just like it was constantly cheap jump scares, I was just like, no, like it's just trying to make my chest stop beating. Like I can't do this. We need to do something else.
It's like, when you watch the first Saw movie and then like they make like sequels and you're like, it's the same thing over and over again. But the first one was probably the best. Well, every sequel after that is just regurgitating the same recycled story over and over again. So yeah.
We talked a little bit about iconic voice characters. Talking about the voice of Mario, Charles Martinet. He is no longer going to voice Mario.
In any games? In any new games?
He's stepping down as the voice of Mario. Period.
Oh wow.
which that was announced this last week by Nintendo and himself, and he is now the ambassador for Mario. So he like goes around and he does like different appearances and things, and just like is more of an ambassador for the series.
Wow. So the next person better be good.
Well, that brought up what chat was just like, look, they already have all the voice
all
lines,
the voice recordings,
right?
yeah.
Like all those
that's
voice
true.
recordings, they can just feed it into AI, and
that's
like,
that's
true.
true.
The voice forever without even doing it. So
Exactly.
I don't know that that's the direction that they're going to go, but like if I'm in their position, it's on my mind, right? Like,
yeah, that's true.
We talked about, what are your favorite iconic voice actors? Some mentions of note were what was the series that Blaze was talking about? I can't remember the series.
I'll give it right now.
I never played it.
Oh,
but,
Dying Light. There was the main actor from the first one to the second one got replaced, but this voice was slightly different. So people got like complaints about it because like it wasn't necessarily the same, but it was like not the same actor, and they got someone to sound very almost like him, but it wasn't the same person. Sorry.
Gotcha.
I had said Ash Ketchum, and then immediately foot and mouth, like apparently they replaced Ash Ketchum at season 9, which I never made it that far.
Oh, that's too far. That's too deep in.
Yeah,
Did anybody actually make it to season 9? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I know that they're like looking at it. Apparently, they're 25 seasons in. So.
Oh, that's crazy. Like,
but I do know DeathWorks brought it up. I do know that they don't like Ash Ketchum is no longer the main character as of, I think it's called Frontiers, and it's going to be a new female protagonist. So we'll see who they have voicing and what they do with that new character. Could be super cool.
That's true.
Not following the 10-year-old Ash around anymore after
10 more year after like 20 years. He's like 10 years old still. Yeah.
And then I mentioned again Goku and Vegeta. I can't see anybody, at least in the English language, voicing
replacing
Goku
them. No way ever, Jose.
No way. So yeah, that's kind of where we were at. We talked about what I've been doing, and then yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, for voice actors, definitely the SpongeBob characters came to mind for me.
Oh yeah,
those are kind of iconic. Patrick, SpongeBob, Mr. Krabs,
yeah.
Squidward. Come on.
Oh yeah.
There's so many good ones.
The one I mentioned was Kevin Conroy, Batman anime series.
Oh yeah.
He passed last year, but man, you cannot replace the iconic Bruce Wayne Batman voice. And then Mark Hamill, he's still alive, but Mark Hamill's Joker's voice, no way you could replace those two. They're so iconic. But yeah.
Like I do agree though with what Blaze had said about that. Like as the Joker, like I don't know that I necessarily agree with you can't replace it. I think that it could be said that as a voice actor that he was the best Joker voice actor. But like the different iterations, it all depends, because like personally, like Jack Nicholson, great Joker, like definitely top 2 in my opinion. Heath Ledger, like we can go on and on about the different people who have played Joker and the different ways that he was played, and like that character just has so many different faces, and they were all just so good. And so I can't say that necessarily
Jared Leto,
the voice, and that's
Jared
what I'm
Leto.
saying. Like there's just so many, and it's like
Jack Nicholson.
It's just
he said that one.
Those, like, to me, Jack Nicholson is Joker, but also Heath Ledger. Whenever Heath Ledger was the Joker, I was just like, dude, this might be the best Joker ever. Like, it's so hard to determine who the best Joker is. And then I didn't like even give thought whenever making those statements, whenever those were like ideas that I had. I never even gave thought to the fact that like Mark Hamill's Joker is so iconic and good. Like, so like to not put him in the mix, I almost feel like I slighted him, but at the same time, it's like it just there's so many good Jokers I didn't even think.
You
Like,
know, it could kind of be like it could kind of be like the Spider-Verse. You know, there's just all those different spiders, all the different Jokers, and they all have their own different. They're all good, but there's just so many different versions, and they all can be great versions of the Joker, and a lot of them are.
Sure.
So.
Funky, what have you been up to? How's your grind going with ranking up in the Apex?
Look, Apex is tough right now. It's like they made it tough, like the ranking, the point system, because you start off with negative 50 points from the get-go from bronze, you know. So it's a little bit more like, oh, I got the silver. Oh, you know, like the little ranks matter a lot because it's really difficult. And the way they set up the points in that game is, you know, if you can get kills, but it doesn't really matter until you're third last standing, second last standing, or first. The points don't really, like, I had this match where I had probably 7 kills and I was the 9th team left, and I only had like plus 25 or something like that. So the point system was kind of tough. So it's been fun because there's a lot more meaning to ranking up, even in, you know, the silvers and the bronzes. I don't know if I'll be able to dedicate more time now. This always happens. I get into it and then I have something come up that's more important. It's really hard for me to grind a game because you have to put so much time in it. And
so much time.
So like getting better in real life and then getting better in the game is just like, it's an easy choice, but it sucks because, you know, what do you really want to do?
Yeah,
man.
Get better in the game.
You know, you talked about, you know, school starting this week. That is a very, very exciting thing, right?
It is.
But like that's you leveling up in the real world, and it's like it takes so much away from your spare time and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, I feel you. Like it, you just get coming up with the new program that I'm gonna be going into. Like it's all based on how much time I put into it, and like if I don't put enough time into it, then I'm not gonna get enough out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I got it. This thing costs like $4,600 a year or so, and it's like if I can cram it all in, and you know, in a year, that's $4,600. But if I can't, then you know, like it progressively gets more expensive. So like, just want to jam. You want to jam and get as much of it done as you can.
Yeah, for sure.
And learn as much as you can, and get as good as you can. And it's like, just like, I think it's so similar to like these competitive games where it's like, dude, no one can argue that the more time you put into those games, if you're really going hard and you're serious about it, and you're looking back at, you know, after your match, you're analyzing what you just did, and like, oh man, I made these mistakes, and like this is how I can prevent those mistakes. Like that whole thing is exactly what it's like whenever you're trying to get better at, you know, some of these things in real life. And it's like,
it's all the same. It's all a game.
It's like how can I level up? How can I get better at, you know, what I'm doing? And you know, like I said earlier, like it's also one of those things where you know, the more you use it, the better you're gonna get. The more you do it, the better you're gonna get. And like, but if you're not using it, if you step away from it even for a minute, like, and you like you start to forget stuff. You know, I got a guy that I work with, and is a perfect example where he went to classes for, you know, the stuff that I'm gonna be going to classes for, and I just finished a class for it, and he's just like, this last week he's like programming something, and he's like, man, I don't know what the hell I'm doing wrong here. It's not working. And, you know, I walked over and I looked at it, and I'm just like, well, it's because you have, you know, the drive has this enabled on it, which means that instead you have to do this, and now, you know, try now. And it worked. He's like, how the hell do you even know that? Like, you haven't went to a class like specifically about this stuff. Like, I did. I was like, yeah, but you did, like, you know, a year and a half ago, and you haven't used it since you went to the class.
Yep, you'll forget it.
Like, you've forgotten it. Like, I just like, even though it's not exactly like I didn't go for the exact thing, it's like I did go, and like, it is, you know, my brain is thinking like that is, you know, how it works. So yeah, like,
yeah, you had mentioned the more time you put in something, and there's one thing that really like sparked something in me, as like, you know, when I was trying to relate everything's a game, is when you look at your games in Steam and you can see how many hours you put in. And I've known people that, you know, they've had like 5,000 hours in a game, and they're like they're almost a pro, you know, they're super good. And so that made me think, and like, you can apply that to real life. You can apply it to everything, obviously. You know, they say the 10,000 hour makes you a master type thing, but that's one thing that I've started to realize and take to outside video games and gaming. Is like, okay, like, if you see a pro player in a game, I'm like, oh yeah, that's like a 5,000 hour player. It makes sense. I only have 800 hours. You know, it makes sense. And it's the same thing that I've started to apply with school and everything else. You know, like, how many hours I kind of, it's like, I wish I had a Steam board for that. You know, how many hours have I done in school? Exactly. How many hours have I went to the gym? You know, and I think that's a great mentality, because it kind of measures. You can kind of measure like how much you've put in and where you are, and so it kind of gives you patience as well. If you're like starting something, and you're like, you know, I just started, so I'm not a 10,000 hour player yet at school. You know.
Yeah. And that's a mentality that I think is like super important to be teaching people nowadays, because the gaming industry is the largest it's ever been. Like, everyone is gaming, right? Especially young people. And you know, it's something that, like, it's hard to get through. Like, so many people are like, well, you know, kids are lazy, or, you know, they just play games and blah blah blah. But like, you could use it as such a good learning tool if you can get your kids to understand that, you know, look, you're getting better because you're playing this. Like, you're getting better because you're doing it. Now, that goes with everything. Everything in life. The more you're doing it, the better you get. And you can use it as that tool, you know. Like, not everyone is just immediately talented at everything, but with the dedication of time, even if you're not good at it, you can get good at it. And you know, like, some people are, you know, naturally talented at things, and you know, good on them. But if you're not naturally talented at something that you're super interested in and wanting to do, like, the best way to get good is to just do it and get good.
Yep,
like,
just do it. Just get good.
Get good.
Just
get
good.
Like,
all right.
It's such a true statement. Just get good.
Oh yeah.
Just get good.
Just get good.
What's up, Ty?
All right, so we'll round up the last topic, because I didn't get a chance to do with Blaze. We'll turn to Funky. So the last topic of the night is casting couch critique. So all the movies that you've ever seen, there's probably someone else who probably even tried out for them, who even, you know, auditioned for them. Some examples could be, I think John Krasinski was actually auditioned for Captain America, but then...
That's the guy from The Office, right? That's Jim?
Yeah. That was Jim.
Okay.
So, like, would he have done well as Captain America? Like, what kind of alternate castings? Like, there's one example that stems from research I did. Sylvester Stallone auditioned to be the original Superman for Christopher Reeve. So, where Christopher Reeve went, but the director, Martin Brando, said Sylvester Stallone's too Italian. He can't play this role. But, like, what would none of your iconic movies that you're a favorite of that you would like to see recast to
Oh,
someone
man.
else that would be your favorite actor? It's good. It's a good question to think about.
Recast.
Yeah, like if
It's crazy. So I'm gonna say this. That Krasinski guy as what was he? What were you saying? If he tried out for what?
Captain America.
Captain
Chris
America.
Evans.
Oh, absolutely not. No, I'm just gonna say it. No. I think he's too goofy. He's too goofy looking for a Captain America.
I'm pulling it out too. Look, I'm gonna say it. He should have never auditioned for that because we all know that he's Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
He was the perfect cast for Mr. Fantastic, and now he's Mr. Fantastic, and I love it. So
Yeah, I don't even know. It's kind of weird. Like, who would, like, let's say. Oh yeah, like there's another example. I have to bring an example because I did the research. You guys tell me if you agree or not. Leonardo DiCaprio, the younger version, not the older one, but
Okay, Titanic version.
yeah, like the younger Titanic version that was auditioned to play Anakin Skywalker in the prequels. Would you see that as a good casting?
Man, these are hard. These are difficult because you already know the character that's there, the actor that's there.
what?
Anakin Skywalker in the prequels, like Hayden Christensen's actor.
So basically, in episode 2 and episode 3.
Yeah. Mhm.
Man, this is such a hard question.
DiCaprio.
Like, would that change the dynamics entirely? Like it
would. I think it would change the dynamic. He's such a different actor. I mean, he could do a lot of roles. Like he would probably be fantastic. And him and what's her name? Padme, what's her name? What's the actress's name?
See, we've been just like all night. Like, what the actress? What is her? What is her name?
Come on now. There's no way I can't remember her name.
Shoot.
I'm looking
it up right now. I'm looking right now.
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. Yes.
Don't upload this as it is. Cut it.
That's just cut her.
This needs edited.
This is edited because we're awful at this. But yeah.
Natalie Portman and DiCaprio probably would have been great. I think.
Okay, so yeah. Shoot, there was someone else that I forget now. So like, I think Daniel. So when they replaced James Bond, hold on. So Daniel Craig wasn't the original choice for the replacement. What was it? I can't find this page. I was looking this up earlier too. I forget who it was. Yeah, I forget. There was someone else who's supposed to. Well, people are going to replace him now, but yeah, like Daniel Craig is iconic. But I don't know who would you see as a good James Bond character. This also goes into like Doctor Who kind of territory too, because like you can cast so many people as Doctor Who, because that character constantly changes, almost every season. But so literally, you can do that. Hold on. Doctor
James Bond. That's tough.
Sorry.
Like a macho, mysterious guy. Who's an actor like that could do that?
Yeah, a macho, mysterious guy.
Mysterious guy, macho, classy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who else could it be?
I think Jason Statham could be.
Oh yeah, Jason Statham could.
Is that his name? Is that the one?
The one Fast and Furious. Yeah, the one. Yeah, Jason Statham. Yeah. He could have done that too. But there's one obvious recasting that happened in the Marvel universe, right? When Don Cheadle took over.
Yeah, for sure.
For Brad. Yeah. Like Terrence Howard played Howard. Yeah. But I'm just like, the dynamic of any movie, like if you watch it now and look back at like, whoa, that would change.
It really shook me whenever it happened. But then like after the first movie that the change happened, it was just like, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
Like it really didn't affect me much. But here's one for you. Like, how successful do you think Back to the Future would have been with Eric Stoltz?
Oh, probably not. I can't see that. I can't see it. Eric Stoltz. Yeah. Looking. Hold on.
So originally, obviously, they wanted Michael J. Fox as Marty McFly. Then they like Michael J. Fox wasn't available, so they actually started filming with Eric Stoltz, and like it just was like it was so hard to work with him on set and whatnot, and they just didn't like he couldn't play the character the way that they wanted him to play the character, and then they eventually scrapped it and waited until Michael J. Fox was available to film it.
Yeah. But yeah, some characters just cannot be. It's very hard to imagine different characters, but somewhere out there,
Yeah,
for sure. Like even like stuff that like originally people were replaced for and recast, but like I'm trying to think. What even like could you even Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs, Anthony Hopkins. I don't think you could recast that. Like, who else would be able to give? Oh wait, no, I know one. I remember one. The Christopher Nolan Batman. So the Scarecrow, right? The Scarecrow character was supposed to be originally cast for Batman, but he did such a good role as Scarecrow. They left him that. He would have been. Who's that guy? We need to edit this one out. We can't remember actors to save our lives today.
I'm telling you, see.
Yeah.
Next topic.
Yeah, we're about it. It was what was his name? What is his name?
Guys, this is a terrible topic.
This is a terrible topic.
It's hard to remember these people.
Oh yeah, Cillian Murphy. I think Dusty should bring it up. Cillian Murphy. He played the Scarecrow, but he was originally intended to play Christopher Nolan's Batman. But he just did a good job. Like it's such a hard thing. Like you can never the iconic roles that we know and love today. But of course,
there's too many names.
There's too many names to remember too, and also, but yeah, like some recastings could be done. Like I could definitely, I don't know, like.
All right. I'm throwing it out here. Let's. All right. Down with this topic. Okay. So
wait. No, I had one thing with this topic.
Okay, go ahead.
I had one thing. So when you brought up this question, I was trying to think of what movie. And my favorite movie is The Waterboy, and so I'm like, who could possibly have done what Adam Sandler did in that movie?
No one.
No
one.
Yeah.
You think? I mean, does anybody come to mind?
No, not a single person. No one.
Nobody. I could do it.
Oh, Funky could do it.
Mr. Coach Klein said I could.
There you go. Funky could do it.
Yeah, no one.
All right.
Okay.
So
go ahead.
We'll stay on the topic of casting, but we'll change it a little bit.
Okay.
What Ty? I'm hoping that you have some time invested in this. What do you think of the casting of Sabine Wren and Ahsoka?
Oh, I don't. It's a good one. I bet I look at the. I've watched Ahsoka, the part 1, part 2, and I've seen.
I haven't seen part 2 yet, but I watched part 1.
I don't know. This is like, I wouldn't have cast. God dang it! I have to edit this. So many things. Who's playing Ahsoka? What's her name?
Oh, Rosario Dawson.
Rosario Dawson. Yeah. But yeah, Rosario Dawson.
I think that she's a great Ahsoka.
Yeah, I think. In terms of comparing to the character, I would not know. Sorry, I have a question here, and I don't know if I can answer a riddle if you're going to fall. But thanks for everybody coming in. But yeah, like the Sabine Wren, I think. Oh, you gave me the follower. Okay. Can't commit.
What?
What? I don't. Okay. Thanks. I love ducks. I don't know. Okay, thank you. I don't know. I don't know.
Jungle Asian. What?
I don't know what's Jungle Asian riddle. Follow you. They're louder and not just like music and rhymes.
Did he just call you Jungle Asian?
I'm pretty sure.
I think sure it's called Jungle Asian. Yeah,
That is
I don't
wild.
know. But yeah, I don't. Rosario Dawson. I mean, I don't know who else could have been played as Ahsoka. Like, I don't know. I think in terms of her demeanor and how she carries on, I can see it. But then I don't know who else I would picture to play. But she's Ahsoka. So yeah, you're right. It's one of the things for my personally, it's hard to share that comic book character with the actual actor. But if you think, I think she's doing a good job so far. But yeah, I don't know who else I would recast though, if I had a choice.
Yeah, like I thought, looking at like, obviously I've seen Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano in The Mandalorian, and I thought from that, like great. But what I didn't know was, like, going into this, I hadn't seen any previews or anything, so I hadn't seen Sabine Wren, and whenever I saw the person that played her and the her talents in the first episode, I was just like, man, obviously this is just one episode, but I felt like they hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, Sabine Wren did hit the nail on the head. Yeah, Ahsoka's kind of like
did a really good job with Sabine Wren. So,
oh yeah, definitely with that last scene you guys haven't seen, where it's like it mirrors like the show in real life, but like it's a painting still. So like even looking at Ezra's character, I mean, like it's a painting like you see in the show, so it doesn't give a hint to who would actually play them. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm super stoked. We're gonna watch whenever we're done here. We're gonna watch
the season 2. Nice.
So.
All right.
But I'm super. Hey, what's getting me giddy? That's getting me giddy too.
It's so good. All right, Funky.
Also been watching that Twisted Metal show. Actually, pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm liking that Twisted Metal show.
Oh, Twisted Metal. I have to catch that too. Yeah, I think that's gonna be on. Wait, what's your service is that on right now? What service does that come out yet? The Twisted Metal show? 'Cause I heard about it too.
Do what? My wife was bragging about getting a copy of Starfield from Bethesda.
Oh, nice. All right, Funky, you still here? Funky.
Of course.
All right, let's kind of sum it up. So we already kind of, what's making me giddy this week was Tarkov. Purpose, what was making you giddy again?
Genshin, kid going to high school, stuff at work, and then Ahsoka and Twisted Metal.
There you go. And then
I'm telling you right now, is just media right now has got me so busy I don't know what to do. Like my head's spinning.
There you go. Anything making you happy this week, Funky?
Yeah. I'm happy. I really enjoyed my job, and I'm happy I got to play a lot of Apex. That made me giddy for sure.
Yeah.
And
there you go.
I'm giddy about school starting. So
yeah,
nice.
I was super excited to just see you out of nowhere, just pop up stream, and I'm like,
yeah. I'm gonna try and fit that in, maybe back in my schedule, maybe at least an hour and a half a day if I can.
Yeah. Just do a little bit of each day. That's all right.
But
good thing.
Just try to pop on.
Stream long, just pop up.
Just pop up and just go ahead.
People pop in and
for sure.
All right, so you're gonna find Funky. He's at twitch.tv/FunkytownTTV. Is it still, or is it changed?
That is that is correct. I haven't really tried Kick.
Yeah, he hasn't really tried Kick yet, so he's not over here yet. But yeah, so we're gonna call it another month. So thank you again, Blaze, for earlier. Thank you for Funky coming on for the last maybe 40 minutes, because we want to get some time talking to you too, because it's been a while.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem. Purpose, thanks again for another month.
Late.
That's fine. Time zone difference. I hear you. Yeah. But all right, and then Purpose, thank you always again for hopping in as usual. So, But yes, we will see you guys next month in the next trade on Hero.